Hi guys, Matt Lemke here through Gamer Goggles, and we are at the Mantic Games booth, Gen Con 2019, and this is Kyle, the new guy.
I'm the new guy.
He represents the U.S. at stores.
If you have a local game store near you and you want Mantic products to be carried there, get them in touch with me. I'll put my information in the description. How about that? Or he will.
And become a Pathfinder.
Become a Pathfinder. Demo the games. Get stuff in stores. That's the best way to do it. People love the games. They just need to see it played.
And now we're going to go on a tour of things that are coming. So let's start with Kings of War, since it was like, the founding father.
Yes, absolutely.
And I know it's right here, but I cannot remember the name of the new army.
Northern Alliance.
There we go.
We just announced at the start of July that we are going to do a 3rd edition for Kings of War. It's 10 years in. That's the big thing. And Northern Alliance is going to be sort of the frontlining new guys for that release.
And what's changing with 3rd edition?
I can't quite say everything yet. The game at its core really is going to be mostly the same. If you know it and you love it now, it's still going to be the same game. We're adjusting some of the rules that needed cleaned up that we felt could be abused a little bit.
Like turning?
No, not quite. Pivoting still pretty much the same. So if you like those things, that's going to be the same. We didn't feel that the game was broken, so there wasn't really a need to completely tear it down or rebuild it and make it.
Only a couple things make it rough, really.
And that's how a lot of people feel. Like I've
stampedes.
Okay, so there are going to be unit profile adjustments, point adjustments, that sort of thing that makes it a little bit more competitive. It's our first release of it. It's going to be 2 different books. So the first one's going to come in October, and then about 6 weeks after that, we're going to release the second book. And it works the same way that it does right now. So if you have the core rules and then it's going to be Armies of Panathor instead of Uncharted Empires. So all the expanded armies that we don't actually make models for right now. Doesn't mean we won't in the future, but right now we don't. So those ones are going to be released in a separate book later on, just 6 weeks apart. But the ones that Mantic actually produces miniatures for are going to be in the first book, along with the core rules. That's what's going to get you started and familiar with the games. And the U.S. Masters crew is even talking about possibly playing 3rd edition for the big, tournament of tournaments to highlight the start of 2020 as well. So,
oh wow,
there's going to be enough time at the end of the year to switch over to the new edition. That's what they're going to vote on it. I don't know what they're going to say eventually, but we would like to see that happen.
And what's the price point of the books, or do we not know yet?
Don't know yet. I know, but we haven't even announced it to retailers yet.
Now he's lying to you.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Northern Alliance, what can we expect from them?
So lots of new miniatures for them. We're going to have some humans, some elves, some dwarves. It's a big amalgamation of factions that are in the world now currently that are coming together in one place, and it's a city called Chill, up in the north, obviously. They don't belong in their normal groups. So the dwarves that come from the regular dwarves are going to break away and come over and be a part of the Northern Alliance. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you've got snow trolls, you've got frostfangs, lots of good things. There's going to be a special miniature release that we're going to do. It's a diorama that is going to include a Skald from the Northern Alliance and then a Night Stalker special hero as well. So it's going to be a limited edition run. Whatever's there is going to go quick, and we encourage you to pre-order those if you can, because there's not going to be many of them. And if you want that Skald or want the Night Stalker special character in that diorama, then you're going to want to pick it up as soon as possible.
So keeping with the same thing, let's move into Vanguard, which is what I'm really trying to break into a little bit. And where are we at with it? I know that there was a great Kickstarter, and it's been here and gone. Well, not gone, but I mean, it's now in fruition. And it's been, how long has it been available in retail now? About 7-8 months?
Yeah, the Kickstarter got us the 4 main armies that came with it. So it was Northern Alliance, it was the Forces of the Abyss, Night Stalkers, and Basileia, the Forces of Basileia. So those guys came with the original Kickstarter, and now we are continuing to expand. We've now got Trident Realms, Goblins, Forces of Nature, and now the new Undead. So we've actually doubled, the amount of factions that were a part of it since the Kickstarter launched. So these are a great opportunity for us to get miniatures into the Kings of War range. The Undead stuff is fantastic.
Your Undead has always been phenomenal.
Yeah. They look great. So the idea behind this is that it's a lower price point for people to get into. It's not building an entire mass battle army. You know, you don't need 400 figures to put on the table to actually start playing. You can do it with 10 to 12 to 15, somewhere in that range, and play games. And if you like these, it's going to give you an idea of how they're going to play in Kings of War. And then for us, it also gives us the ability to essentially test out models, see what's going to be popular, who actually wants to buy stuff, and then do we want to move it into Kings of War. So in version 3, for example, a lot of the things that you see in Vanguard are getting rules. So units that don't exist currently are going to get some new stuff. So like the Goblin Wing It, for example. This is a plane that doesn't have rules in Kings of War currently, but it will. The mop-up launcher, like all these things are getting...
It's a flying bat, guys.
He's chucking bombs.
With wood armor. That's awesome.
Yeah. So all this stuff is going to cross over from Vanguard into Kings of War, into the other games. We also are premiering some miniatures from the League of Infamy, which is the only Kickstarter that we're going to do this year. We haven't done one since Hellboy. League of Infamy is going to have a lot more information that we release at Mantic Night while you're here at Gen Con, so if you're going to be here, come check it out. If not, it's something that you'll be finding out more about soon. This has got a great...
I'm sadly going to miss Mantic Night this year, guys.
League of Infamy is going to be a cooperative / competitive style of game. Like we call it occasionally cooperative. Group of bad guys goes in and they want to do some subterfuge, they want to sabotage something along those lines of one of the good races, and you also have a secondary mission where you're going to stab each other in the back and kind of try to achieve your own personal goal as well. So it's just going to be a new way for us to release Kings of War miniatures that will also translate to Vanguard, that will also translate, you know, across all of the different ranges. So it's a good opportunity for us to fund some stuff and get some new sculpts in, and we've got some of them on display here for the first time, and they're fantastic. They're gorgeous.
I'll get pictures. Or actually, I think my wife already did. Did you get pictures?
Yeah, they're fantastic. So,
and then let's go to Hellboy.
Ice and Iron. I'm gonna cover that real quick before we do it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
This brand new supplement that just came out, Ice and Iron. This has got new scenarios. It updates all the rules that we've done for all the factions. So new stuff has come out. Everything's in one new consolidated place, so that you don't have to look at PDFs and download things. It's all in one new book. It's $20, so it's nice and easy. Just refreshes everything. Tries to keep it more competitive and flowing as the game evolves.
Yeah, now we can go to Hellboy.
Now we can go to Hellboy.
Which is pretty much brand new. I mean, it kickstarted, so in some ways it's not brand new, but It's brand new to most of the world.
Hellboy is a game that you are trying to make the best of a bad situation, is the best way I can put it. So
That's accurate.
Yeah. Have you played it?
I played it last year.
Okay, yeah.
At Gen Con, yeah.
So things just sort of get progressively worse. You're trying to balance two different game mechanics. You've got the impending doom track, and then the information gathered track. And as you go through and explore rooms, you're going to encounter some different enemies, but you're also looking for clues. And as you find these clues, it's going to tick up towards that information gathered. And there's a goal on that track that you want to reach, or at least get as far as you can before that impending doom track hits a trigger where the boss comes out and attacks you whether you're ready or not. If you don't get the information that you need to get, that boss battle becomes significantly more difficult. So the goal is cooperation, exploration between the players. So it's 1 to 4 players. You can play solo. We do recommend that you use 2 agents if you do it that way. The retail version of the game comes with Hellboy, Liz, Abe, and Johan, and they've all got a different strength. Hellboy is fantastic at punching something.
Of course.
Abe is very quick and slippery and is really good at shooting. Liz blows everything up. She is a glass cannon extraordinaire. I mean, she will light the entire board on fire, which can be a bad thing. And then Johan is extremely good at investigating, so he can split off and get information in different rooms. Really easy to pick up the clues with him and advance that track. So he's a critical piece, but he doesn't really fight well. So a lot of people don't like to play with him. He's actually my favorite character because he gets you the result that you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
He likes Hellboy. Can you tell? Yeah. Hey, it's Ronnie. found his hat.
Got a new one, especially.
Specifically says Ronnie's hat.
All right, then let's go to Deadzone.
Deadzone, we just did command protocols escalation. So
Every July, right?
yeah. So every year we try to refresh it with a new set of rules, similar to what we did with Ice and Iron. This introduced a couple new miniatures, like Bolts, the Stunt Bot. They get the Veerman, Volt Chasers, that kind of thing. And then there's also the Rebs Alpha Strike team. So a couple of new things that you can pick up and play with that makes it a little bit more refreshing. All the rules get updated. Everything's consolidated in one place. We tell a lot of people, if you've got access to the free rules, online or otherwise,
right,
and then you grab that command protocols escalation, you have everything that you need. The main rulebook is going to give you some other good things, but at the same time, it's an easy way to get new players into it because it's a low buy-in point. Dice, cards, that sort of thing. It's refreshed all the time. We keep hearing questions about when Deadzone 3rd Edition is going to happen. I really don't have anything to say about that, though, at the time.
Well, didn't 2nd edition just within the last 5 years?
Yeah, it's been still fairly recent. Because I get questions all the time. When's Deadzone 3rd Edition?
I don't know, man. I like Deadzone's rule set.
Yeah, Deadzone's good. It's clean.
I like the D10s.
Okay.
I'm a huge fan of D10 games. I don't know why. They're like magical dice or something. I don't know.
Exploding 8s and I got
yeah, everything blows up. It just plays smooth, and I don't know. I like Deadzone a lot.
That's Vanguard, yeah. So it makes sense.
Yeah.
It plays pretty similar in that sense. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to Walking Dead.
Walking Dead is Call to Arms. That's the big new fun thing here. So last year we had Here's Negan. And this year Call to Arms is...
Which was pretty vicious.
Call to Arms is an entirely new take on it. So instead of it being a cooperative game now, it's player versus player. So you are taking the factions and fighting against each other and trying to take each other out. So we changed some of the rules. The walkers, for example, they only respond once per round. So if you create Northern Mayhem, they're only going to come at you one time.
I guess it had to be too nice, huh?
Yeah. Well, the thing is they can now form up into herds, and when they do that, they're really devastating. So something that might happen is while you're sitting there fighting against your opponent, the walkers could get out of control if you've been ignoring them. You might want to agree with your opponent. We might stop shooting each other to take care of them right now, because they're just going to come in, swoop through everything, and just take it all out. So it's a lot of fun. There's equipment cards for it. We try to make it so that the miniatures whatever they come with is what they have in the game. So
that's when you say, you shoot first.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And then you shoot them.
There's real strategy to it. Like if you really want to pull them out of a way so you can clear a lane for your other guys to get in, it just makes a lot more sense. So.
Wow. Okay. And that's how is that sold? Is that a starter or like a box set?
No, it's a really easy thing. So we got 2 factions that come separate, and then you can also get either the lawful cards or the ruthless cards. That way, the miniatures that you already have, you can just jump right in and start playing. So the book itself, again, $20 book. It's an easy thing to jump and pick up on. But at the same time, you don't need a whole lot if you've already got it. Now, anything that you buy from the Walking Dead range, if you're new to get into it, because this is going to draw a new type of crowd when it's a competitive game all of a sudden, you can use from anything in the range. So any of the miniatures, they've got the cards to represent them, what they have on their stats, what their equipment is. It's all involved in one place. So makes it easy.
All right. Let's go to Dungeon Saga. I haven't talked about Dungeon Saga probably in 2 years now. So where are we at? Like, are we still doing expansions?
Dungeon Saga is comfortable. We don't have any expansions on the horizon at the moment. There's still a good bit that's out right now. It's still selling pretty well, so that's a good thing. It's doing okay. And what I think that people don't realize is that 2 games that we're coming out with are going to be very similar to Dungeon Saga 2. So the League of Infamy is going to be a similar style play to, it's going to be kind of like Dungeon Saga and Here's Negan in one game. And then also Dungeon Saga Origins, which is a smaller version, easier buy-in point, smaller scale, to get into the game. So not exactly an expansion, but just a different take on it, if that makes sense.
Yes. And Star Saga.
Star Saga's got some expansions. One just came out this month, and then we've got another one coming in September, I believe it is. So yeah, the big thing with them, with Star Saga, is that we tried to get as much crossover with Deadzone as well. So you saw in the command protocols, the Maison Labs faction and all those miniatures that came with it. So lots of good stuff. Same things. The expansions are new. It's not technically out yet, so I can't talk about it, but I'm sorry.
This guy. See, I'm talking to the wrong guy. I need Ronnie.
Yeah, Ronnie
And,
just.
and half a dozen, no, about 18 beers.
Yeah,
He can hold his liquor.
that was me last night. So. You should have come
Okay,
last
I
night.
guess the only thing left is Terrain Crate, right?
Yeah, Terrain Crate's got it's fantastic. There's several things that are going on with it. So, really popular with D&D players, Pathfinder, that sort of thing. Anybody that does war game stuff has a use for it in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, because they've got modern and
Yeah.
fantasy-based terrain now.
So the Terrain Crate 2 should be coming next year. Don't have an official date on it yet, but it's almost ready to go. It's going to have more of the modern look. It's going to have the it's the Gothic Manor, the abandoned mall, that kind of thing. There's hospital stuff in there, so it works really well with post-apocalyptic games as well. Instead of it just being tense and sci-fi Terrain Crate stuff from the Star Saga kits. So it made a new niche for different play styles and games. And then we also have some new blister packs that are coming out that we want to sort of compete with WizKids on. So easier single purchases of the stuff that's in there. If you don't want the full $30 or $70 box, you can just grab a real quick and easy $5 kit that's going to have some doors in it, or a portal, just one thing that you might see and want to pick up. It'd be an easier buy-in. So while you're at your game store and you grab some things, I can throw extra $5 in and take this, that sort of thing. So it should be good.
All right. I think that covers it.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, that was a lot. All right. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Hope you have a good rest of the show. See you guys soon. Maybe at Adepticon.
Hi guys, meet the Nibbles, who's gonna go down. She just decided not to go down my back, so we'll do this for her so she's comfy. Thanks for watching my video, and I appreciate it. Please hit the like button and share it if you know somebody who might be interested. And of course, there's always Twitter and the Facebook thingy, and soon I have a newsletter coming. That'll be down there or in a link below. And my kitty cat loves that idea. So anyway, there was one more thing. Oh yeah, subscribe. Be a part of my community, our community. Let's make it grow together. See you guys at a con somewhere, or a local store, or if I'm driving through the country, maybe a game club. I don't know. You're not gonna go knock down my camera. Bye, guys.